What's up everyone, some guy here with another Alliance War video. Season 26, war number 2, we are versing against RPH. I don't think we've faced him either, ever. I believe they were plat 2 or 3 last season, but going to path 5 here, we have a Professor X on Ebb and Flow Knockdown and Power Drain. Since there is another Apocalypse boss, I will be using Guillotine 2099, and he's probably the best, easiest fight to ramp her up with. So I will be using her. I just have to look out for his falter, and also his only his first medium only his first medium hit can be parry stunned, so just have to look out for that. A lot of times I like to finish with a 4-hit combo so that I can back off, dash back, and let him parry into me. And then I also have to look out for the protection. Whenever the passive fury expires, the protection will come back. If he's stunned, he will become unstunned and he will come out of it, so I just have to look out for that. And I also have to look out for his special attacks. I don't know, sometimes his SP2 catches me off guard. It just the amount of distance it covers is a lot. The reach is further than I expected sometimes. I have eaten it last war, I think. I got lucky there that he didn't punish me for a defaulter. Yeah, right there I took the first hit of the SP2. I just wasn't I guess paying attention. Yeah, so you just have to look out for some stuff, but as long as you're paying attention to it, the falter meter and the timer, and also the passive fury timer, and you should be fine. Other than that, it should be a pretty straightforward guillotine fight. And next up, we have a Hitmonkey on Ebb and Flow Knockdown and Heavy Hitter. Pretty common placement for Hitmonkey to be here. I will be using Nick Fury. His SP1 also inflicts Disorienting debuff, and if it also counts as a knockdown, so a lot of times the Disorienting debuff will shut down the protection node altogether. And if it doesn't, you can always throw another SP1 to hope it works. And then if you do shut down the protection node, from there on you don't want to knock him down again, because it can trigger the passive fury again and you would have to shut down the protection again. I know some people who don't like to shut down the protection node just because they like to have the passive fury. So it just depends on how you want to play with it. And I also like to bait out Hitmonkey's SP1. I can fully evade his SP2, but I don't want to risk it, since if you miss, it's going to hurt a lot. It probably can kill you, to be honest, because Hitmonkey hits really hard. Hence, he's usually placed in on war defenders just to catch people off guard, but this one's only a 5-star, so it goes down pretty easily. Alright, next up we do have a rank 3 Nick Fury on Mixmaster. I will be quaking this fight. I was a little bit nervous on quaking this fight just because I know in the second phase, if I get hit once, if I get tagged, I'm most likely gonna die from the bleeds or just how hard he hits. And it also has a Power Focus 1. If I accidentally drop a heavy or push him to an SP1, he's gonna have at least, I think, 4 or 5 tactical charges, and I won't be able to evade. But I guess I can just parry and get back in the corner. But either way, it's a fight where you don't want to mess up, so you just have to play perfectly. Oh, and also has aggression paralysis, so I'm not going to be able to get rid of his paralysis. So if he does get to an SP1, the SP1 damage itself will probably just kill me. And moving on to section 2, we have Immortal Abomination on Ebb and Flow Intercept and Redouble Determination. Very common placement. I would just be quicking this one as well. You just make sure you don't parry or get in contact with Abomination, just because he has a chance to put a poison debuff on you. But yeah, other than that, it's a pretty simple quick and shake fight. Also, you don't want to drop your heavy, because if it does crit, it can trigger protect, and if he has 2 protection, it'll be reduced 90% damage reduction, so you'll practically be doing no damage, and you will time out if you don't intercept with him. And if you do try to intercept, you will have a chance to get a poison on you, so it's not going to be a good time. So just got to play another perfect quick fire, I guess. Alright, moving to the next fight, we have a rank 3 Void on Ebb and Flow Intercept and Redouble Determination and Crumbly Armor. Since it is a Void, if you don't hit him, you will get the Armor Break debuff on you, and against Void, the Armor Break debuff will, or any debuff, non-damaging debuff, will do damage on you. Even though it's on Redouble Determination, I do plan on using Nick Fury. He's a pretty safe fight just because he's a pretty good Void counter in general. Every time you knock him down, you can purify any non-damaging debuffs, and all of Void's debuffs are non-damaging. Just he does damage to them just because he's Void. But I also have to look out for my combo meter to make sure I time it correctly, to make sure I purify the debuffs, and I also have to look out for his power meter, since it is on Redouble Determination. I can push him pretty. His power gain is going to be a little bit more than usual. But yeah, I don't plan on getting too many intercepts in. I think the bleeds and should just be doing enough damage to knock him down even with the protection up. But if I do sometimes see an opening for a intercept, I will be going for it. I don't actually play too well with this fight. I don't keep my I don't do a good job of keeping the debuffs off of me, but I'm pretty boosted. I also threw on the invuln boost. I had a couple expiring in the overflow. So yeah, I wasn't too worried about this fight. I just had to make sure I don't go into my second life, just because I will be using Nick Fury for another fight in tier 3, and I do need him in his first life, because his second life will just hit too hard and will trigger protect too much. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty easy fight. Oh, right here I got I messed up here because the passive fury expired and he came out of his stun, and I just wasn't paying attention and got clipped. So I guess the invul boost did come in handy. But yeah, it wasn't the cleanest fight. As you can see, I lose a bunch of health from his debuffs and getting hit. But yeah, but it's a Nick Fury should be a still pretty good counter for Void on this node. Alright, moving to section 3, we have this rank 2 Thing on Stunning Reflection. I will be using Nick Fury. Thing is immune to bleed, but the bleeds, whenever it does trigger on him, it does remove rock stacks. However, this ability cannot trigger more than once every 2 seconds or so. But if you slow down your combo, like if you're playing with Omega Red style, both in one combo, both the bleeds can take off his rock stacks. So I just have to play slow and patient, and also watch out for his power. I do like baiting out Thing's SP2 just because I think it pushes you back less. And the one thing about fighting against Thing is you don't want to get cornered against him, just because his heavy attack in the corner is a little bit tough to fully evade. So once you get cornered by him and he starts throwing his heavies attacks in the corner, it can be pretty sketchy. So you just have to look out for that, and his rock stacks. Other than that, it should be a pretty simple Nick Fury fight, and you just have to make sure you don't push yourself to your second phase, just because if you do get into your second phase, you will trigger protect from your hits, and you would have to intercept to get rid of them, and it's just gonna be a lot tricky, and you don't want to get into that. But yeah, pretty simple Nick Fury fight. Alright, so moving on to the Apocalypse boss, I will be using Guillotine. I will be boosting up pretty big here since I do have, well, I haven't finished the monthly event quest yet, so I haven't gotten the purchase for the Cavalier deal. I do purchase them every month so I can stock up on those 30% green boosts. But yeah, so I will be using them quite a lot this season just so I can stock them up and get ready for the rest of the season. But yeah, pretty simple fight. Guillotine 29's light attack has a pretty far reach, so I can safely light intercept Apocalypse boss. I believe you can also shallow intercept him, but it can be a little bit risky because if you're late, he can parry you. I have gotten lucky sometimes, and he only dexed instead. But yeah, the plan is just to push Apocalypse to his SP2 so I can fully dex it and punish. And from there on, it's pretty simple. Alright, that was a pretty straightforward fight with Guillotine there, and we do end up taking the win for this war, so it is a pretty good start to our season. Hopefully we're able to keep the win streak up and get into tier 1 and get more points and multiplier times 8. But that is it for me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.